One eternity later.
I've got tons of these random cutoffs all over my shop, in the racks, in my scrap bin. I've got all sorts of different species of wood. I've got some poplar, I've got some walnut, maple, got pine, I think these used to be 2x4s, alder, and white oak. To me, this is what really made this project possible, and I've been wanting to do it ever since I put this in the scrap bin, is this paddock left over from that cutting board I did. Some of it is going to be able to just get glued up straight out of the gate. Some of it I'm not even going to work. I'm just going to glue it up as is and let the planer figure it out later. Some of it I'm going to have to cut down into a smaller strip, and I'm going to wait till I get something more substantial to glue those in. In the end, I can see the potential from these scraps, and I can't wait to show you and let you see what I see. One of the reasons I'm doing two boards is so that as I cut them, I can mix and match between the two. I'm going to repeat that process of just cutting it up, gluing it back up, mixing and matching, potentially adding some more filler strips in here or there, and just keep going until I get a product that I'm happy with. I'll be mixing it up between cutting it long ways, cutting it perpendicular. I think at some point I'm even going to throw a couple angles in there. So I'm going to be cutting a ring out of a 1/4 inch piece of plywood to use as a cutting template for my router later on. I'm going to cut this out on the scroll saw and then clean it up on my various sanders. So now comes the task of trying to run these things through the planer, which is not going to be easy considering the surface looks something like the surface of the Death Star. It would take me a solid year of sanding to try and do that by hand. So what I did was I propped these things up on a 1/4 inch piece of plywood and attached some rails to the sides, and it's going to serve two functions. One, it's going to help stabilize the piece, because otherwise it'd be all over the place and I'd never get a straight board. And two, if you're not familiar with how a planer works, there's these little rollers that feed the piece through. Well, they needed something to reference off of, something to write on. So hopefully these two rails will give something for the rollers to grab onto and pull the piece through. I'm still going to have to take it very slow, light passes, until I get down to a manageable surface. But I'm excited because this is the point where I actually get to see my work come to life. Alright, so now I'm done planing it down, and I am really happy with the way this turned out. I think this pattern is going to be awesome when it's done, when it's finished, sanded down and everything. This is a teachable moment for me. I went through the whole thing really hasty, really haphazard, just throwing it back and forth together. In hindsight, I really should have taken more time and care, especially into the vertical alignment. I initially thought I was going to have enough material left over to resaw it and get 2 whole sets out of this. Because of the way I put it together, I only have enough thickness left for 1 set. It's still going to be awesome. In the end, I think these are each about 5/16 of an inch thick. Now it's time to take over the scroll saw and I'm going to start cutting out the blanks. One's going to get a hole in the middle, one's not. So with those cut out, I have my flush cut bit in my router. I have the template double stick taped down to the piece. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the rings for the top. I'm gonna glue them together with the bottom. Then I'll come back with the flush cut bit, finish that up, round it over, finish it, getting towards the end now. So there's my finished product, my Scrapwood coaster. I'm pretty happy with what came out, even if it's not exactly what I wanted. I was hoping to have the material for maybe like a gift box, a display stand, something like that. But like I said, I'm happy with what I got. I did not meet the goal of emptying my scrap bin. If anything, I think I made it worse. But live and learn. I can't wait to apply everything I did here to some project in the future. Maybe a cutting board of some kind. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please let me know. Click like, leave comments, subscribe. Thank you. Can't wait to see you again.